is up? My name is Melissa Makak, and this is Teach the Teach on the Dice Tower, where I teach you how to teach a board game. And in this video, I'll be covering Cuphead. Now, I am assuming you already know how to play this game, and now you're just looking to teach it to other players. There are plenty of ways to teach games. This is just a way that has helped me out and can possibly help you out if you have any sort of difficulties teaching games or this game in particular. Now, I always start off with the three main things. The story behind the game, where you are Cuphead and Mugman and some other characters who've made a deal with the devil and you, well, lost. You lost this bet and now you're collecting soul contracts. The objective of the game, which is to get through the boss. You have this boss deck and you're trying to, well, beat that boss. And the way the game ends, where it's either you die trying to beat the boss or you actually go through all the phases and beat the boss. And it is a cooperative style game where you're working together. Now, I'll be focusing on how to teach this game to players who are new to the hobby, right? Maybe they were drawn to this game because they liked the video game Cuphead, and so they want to play this game. I think that those who are familiar with board games and they're into the hobby, this won't be a terribly difficult teach. But for those who are new to the hobby, this could be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to focus in on that. Now, I do know that the game says that it should be for like ages 12 and up, but I think that's, you know, a little exaggerated. I think that you could play with at least people who are like, you know, around 11. So I think this will be a little bit easier to teach when I bring you down to the table, so let's do that. So I have this set up for boss deck 1, which is essentially what you should be using when you're going to first play this game with somebody who is new. So you could go ahead and do that, unpack it. Now, I would suggest actually stacking the deck a little bit, where the top 3 cards don't have a Wallop card and do not have a Parry card in the top 3 cards. That way, you could just start off with this and you don't have to explain other rules that they don't necessarily need to know right now. And this is when you go ahead and you start to let them know that essentially you're defending against this potato head guy and his attacks, or their attacks, I don't know their gender. So their attacks towards you. And then you let them know how you actually defend against it, right? Where you'll have the 20-second timer, you're going to be rolling these dice and seeing what comes out, and you're trying to match the whatever symbol it is, double feet, whatever. After that, that's when you let them know how you actually get to attack this potato head guy, where this is when it's important to especially explain that you cannot skip, or you can skip, but you can't go back in a space, right? So you could let them know that you could place it and whatever, but let's say you get a pew-pew later, you can't go back and place this if you've already placed things here. This is not the right thing, but like, let's say I did this, right? You'll let them know, like, okay, I can't then go back and put this pow-pow here. That's also when you let them know about this black die and letting them know that the only special thing about this die is this symbol right here. So if you use it for this symbol, you let them know that you get this pea shooter, the Mega Blast, and letting them know that it just does an extra damage if you use it as such. Otherwise, you could use it as any sort of symbol. You let them know. And you want to tell them that we have to beat this bad guy, and it has this HP. If we bring it down to 0, we've won, yay! But if not, if you don't defend against any of these cards, letting them know about losing HP and how you could possibly bring somebody back. But if we've all lost all of our HP, or if one of us has lost our HP, we all lose the game. At that point, they might ask, well, how can we revive somebody? They might not ask that. But in any case, you could say, like, there's going to be a way to revive someone, but we'll get to that later. That card hasn't come out yet where we can actually do that. So later on, as the Parry card comes out, let's say, that's when you explain the Parry card and how it's like, okay, you get to defend it, but also if you do defend it, you get this Parry token. And you just get to place it on your board, letting them know that they have maximum of 3, and then letting them know how that's how you can like revive players and how that works. Same thing for the Wallop card. Once the Wallop card comes out, you could let them know that you get to draw a Wallop card if you defend against this. And just let them know that Wallop cards are good, right? You'll get them and then you could use them either immediately or later, letting them know that they'll give you some sort of special ability, special effect. And once you beat that, right, you keep on going down and down. And you want to let them know, so if you're starting to run low on the deck, in the deck of cards, and you haven't quite beaten the boss yet, or this phase yet, that you're going to get this time token. Now, this is really only important if you're going to actually go ahead and do the campaign. I would suggest, not quite going into campaign mode yet. I mean, it probably won't matter because you'll most likely lose the game anyway if it's people's first time playing. This is a very difficult game. And you might want to let them know, like, hey, this is really difficult, just like the video game, if they've played the video game. That way they don't get discouraged and it's like, okay, but we could try again. We'll have to start from the beginning, whatever. But if you are going to play campaign style and you have these time tokens, just let them know that this is going to go against your score at the end of the game. So you want to beat them before running out of the deck there. I also wouldn't go into these super art card envelopes until probably after the first time you've played, where you really start to flesh out, like, okay, now we have the campaign, especially if you've won. If you've won, okay, sure. Go ahead, use the save sheet and everything. Let them know about the Emporium cards and how you can actually upgrade these and how you do that with the coins and everything, and you can really get into that. Like I said, you'll most likely lose the first time playing, even if you're really good at it. If you have somebody else who's not as good, it might be, I don't know. But if you do actually win and get to all that stuff, then you could talk to them about all those things. But essentially, that is it. That's how I teach Cuphead, fast-rolling dice game. I will meet you back at my face. No, and that is how I teach Cuphead, fast-rolling dice game. You want to make sure that you are not teaching a whole lot at the beginning. Like I always say, that I always like teaching games as quickly as possible, so that way we get into the game as fast as possible. This reminds me a lot of Harry Potter. Hogwarts Battle, I think it's called, the deck building game that is also from the op, where things get increasingly more difficult with the new boxes that come into play. So that's really, really cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down below in the comments how you like to teach this game, or if you have any questions for me. I would love to answer them. In any case, have a good one.